What just happened? I'm Dan. That is Jules. And that is Xander. And today we're here to talk Silo Season 2, Episode 2, called Order. A little more happened this episode. I'm starting to like it. Get the Silo vibe back in my life. We got to see the original Silo. I believe it's Silo 18. I think someone commented that in the comment section. So, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of Silos out there. So we're dealing with a lot. And they get into some shit this episode. There's a rebellion coming. You guys see that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Big I'm time. Very excited.
Led by Shirley. She's not taking any shit. She is not taking any shit.
No shit, Shirley.
No shit, Shirley.
No shit, Shirley.
Yeah. And I love the Jules Lives graffiti. It reminds me of like a video game. I love that shit. So it's really cool. All right, let's get into it. So we see Bernard for the first time, and this is actually his POV from the moment that Jules escapes, right? So we see him, what he's doing. He's watching her camera feed, and then an alarm goes off, and Meadows wants to know what's going on.
What's going on? The sheriff didn't clean that.
He's like, what the hell? Everybody cleans. What are you talking about? According to Bernard's book that he was reading, not cleaning means prepare for war. That's what it said in his book. So book readers out there, if you've read the book, I'm sure you know what this means. We are not book readers. We're talking about the show and what the show did. So, I mean, we're book readers. We just haven't read Silo. So.
I don't read. I don't know how to read.
I don't know how to read. Yeah.
What are books?
So I like taking it from the angle of not knowing what the books did, so we can make theories and theory videos and do it that way. But if you're a book reader, that's awesome too. So comment how you like the show compared to the book and, the differences and such. So prepare for war. Then we see Sims for the first time this season. Common does a really good job in this role. Really good job in this role.
He's good.
So good.
He's scary, man. They want eyes on Juliette's father, and they say it's time for another rebellion.
Do you hear what's going on? People are saying it's time for another rebellion.
Which is definitely coming this season. So it's going to be cool. The people said,
she walked over the hill. That means it's safe.
That means it's got to be safe. I want to go out too.
I want to go out too.
Don't say that. You can't say that.
Oh, shh. Don't say that. Don't say that. Because if you say that, you're going to have to go out. Chill out. Chill out. But you got to realize what this means to everyone, right? It's shocking. They saw something no one has ever seen before, and they want to know what that means. So Knox admits that he turned her in, but he was like, look, they know where she was.
They knew she was here. They'd have torn our homes apart. They're just looking for an excuse.
Caused a bunch of chaos anyway, so I did what I had to do. I'm sorry you're mad at me, but that's just what I had to do in the moment. And I guess I agree. Do you guys agree?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, do you sacrifice one person or do you put everybody in jeopardy? So yeah. I can't really blame him for making that choice.
A lot more people would have been hurt, and he did what he had to do to save his people, because I'm sure people would have been killed if he didn't do what he had to do. Yeah. So, but the people, Knox's people, want to shut down the silo. They want to get the truth. And he's like,
we can shut the silo down once, and then they'll crush us.
That's not going to really do shit. Then they all get blasted by water with Walker. And she's like,
most of us got jobs to get back to, don't we?
I love Walker, man. She's a great character. Such a good character. So a lot more happens with her this episode too. And then the sheriff's department reports to Judicial now. So this reminds me of like a martial law situation where they're just like, okay, what do we do? Judicial's in charge. Listen to them. So all the deputies and the new sheriff, has to listen to them. So that's what's going on in this situation. Paul's wondering how things are going to be normal since she made it over the hill. And then he's like, Sims, by the way, you never gave me your official statement about Jules saying she wants to go out. Let's do that now. And he's like, you want my statement? All right, here it is. And he's kind of like really harsh and quick with him about it. Bernard said that she was in violation of the relic laws. We confronted her, and I observed her myself saying she wants to go out, which is a lie. That did not happen. So he's lying his ass off.
They chased her and caught her. End of statement. That do it?
Then Paul goes, if she said that, then why did she run? He's like, I don't know. Must have changed her mind. So what do you guys got on that?
Paul definitely doesn't believe him.
Yeah, Paul
he doesn't. And I don't think that Sims cares that he doesn't. I don't think that Sims cares that, he doesn't believe him. He just outwardly was like, oh, yeah, that doesn't make sense, does it? Whatever, fuck it.
I think he really is underplaying. I think they assume that Paul is really devout to the silo and everything going on. And they don't know that he has that book, obviously. So I think he's kind of underselling what Paul could do. And I feel like Paul's going to be a big piece in the moving the sheriffs towards the side of rebellion versus the side of judicial. Yeah,
exactly what I was going to say. So Shirley, we'll talk about it at the end of the episode. She alludes to maybe the people with the weapons will turn on our side. So maybe Paul will be a key piece in that. That could happen. Mm-hmm. So then Paul asks, what if she's alive? And, obviously she is. And a lot of people believe that too with the Jules Lives graffiti. So Martha Walker is asked about the note. The person's like, was it about the tape? And she's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. Shirley then answers the door to a deputy, and he wants to talk to Walker alone. And then he says, Judicial wants to talk to you. You got to come with me, and I got to make it look good. You got to get cuffed. I'm sorry.
And I need to make it look good.
So I think
that was a huge mistake, by the way.
Yeah,
just the way everybody's watching, because I feel like everyone in the down deep or whatever knows Walker, knows who she is, and that she's just kind of kept to herself for decades. So to have someone like be walking her through that she left her apartment, no one really knows she left her apartment, so like they dragged her out of her apartment and walked her through in cuffs. I think that's going to be a huge part of like everybody being like, they're doing whatever they want. Yeah,
that's going to foster so much resentment.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, that's so true. Back to Meadows. She's like, they all clean, but Jules dropped hers and she didn't clean. And she's told again that she went over the hill. She doesn't believe her. And she's like, look, I want to be alone. Leave me alone. So then Knox goes down to manufacturing. Kind of a big scene right here. He goes, I need some help. If anybody wants weapons over the next couple days.
Don't. It's too dangerous.
And I got a second thing I need from you too. But we don't hear it. Any ideas what that is?
I don't know, man. Maybe he needs him to make something for him.
Yeah,
that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
maybe
like don't make this, but make this.
What's the second ask?
Make this,
That feels like that makes sense.
That can make sense, yeah. I think that's true. So maybe we'll find out next episode. But Knox is trying to be 2 steps ahead. So I don't blame him. So then Bernard goes to see Meadows. She says, I'd make you a drink, but I don't want you to stay that long. And that's great. I wouldn't either. Bernard's a wet blanket. And she quit drinking today. And he's going to speak to the silo tonight, and he wants her behind him as a show of unity. There's 10,000 people's lives at risk here, and I will order you if I have to, but I want to do this in a friendly way. So let's talk this out. So he knows it's the tape that helped her.
Do you know how she got over the hill?
It had to be the tape.
He's scared. An angry mob can break down that door and kill us all. He's scared that she made it and saw thousands of dead bodies at a silo that went to war with itself, which she did see that. And he's like, that could happen here. So we really need to work this out. It's an emergency, but she's not budging. He's like, what is it, Mary? 25 years of a secret. What aren't you telling me? I need your help. You're not willing to do it for the silo. So what do you want? Tell me what you want. She's like, you still don't know me, do you? She pulls out the Wizard of Oz. Turns out this guy was a fraud. I'm a fraud too. And then she brings up how he escaped with a hot air balloon, which she wants her escape, which comes into play later.
Can you do that for me? Because if you can, well, then I'll help you.
That's the final scene. If you can't do that, fuck off. So that's where they're at. So I guess he agreed to it because she did show up to the silo speech.
No.
No?
She says in the next time they meet up, she's like, yeah, I pretty much just came out there to watch you crash and burn.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. And then
she's savage. I love it.
Yeah. Said, I didn't see you as a political person, but maybe you do have it in you type of thing. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're getting there. And then Martha is escorted to lockup by Hank, the deputy. He's like, there's orders to hold you both by Judicial. These are both people that, gave the tape to Jules and helped her survive. And she's like, what did you tell them? She says the tape comes right back to me. And Walker's like, we just deny everything. We're the only two that know what actually happened and that it was the tape for sure that helped her. So we deny it. And then she's like,
they'll find some lowlife to denounce us and send us both to the mines or out to clean.
So she's like panicking at this point, but doesn't really matter because they get away later. We'll talk about that too. And then here's Bernard's speech, which turns out to be a whole setup and a whole full of shit speech. But I guess he did a good job he said he bought him a couple days. So he says, today was a good day. I know you were all unsettled, but today's the first day of a new era. Everyone else died when we went out to clean. Today that changed. Jules went out. She chose not to clean. Someone calls her a traitor. Someone shouts out. We find out they were paid off to say that shit. And he says,
she was not a traitor. I disagreed with her about many things, but I respected her.
And then someone shouts out she was alive, also paid to say that. He says, no, I wish that was true. She died a hero for the silo. So he's flipping this around to make this like a good thing. You know, he's trying to scam people basically, right?
This is scarily close to real life politics.
Yeah. And then someone's like, yo, that's impossible. And he's trying to spin the hero thing still. And he says he wanted to seal her suit with new tape. And she agreed. Her trip over that hill proves that our new tape provides better protection. It's the first step forward in our lifetime. This is a step toward leaving the silo. And then Meadows decrees 5 credits to every household to celebrate. So that's the way they spin it.
It was pretty genius too, because I was wondering what they were going to do with because they're watching Walker and that other girl in the cell and they're like listening to them, obviously. So it's pretty genius that Bernard is like, all right, they're going to go out. They're going to tell people that they switched the tape. How do I flip it and give a different narrative that they then have to like come out and disprove in order for people to believe them? It was really, really smart. Good job, Bernard.
Smart. Yeah, good job. All right. And then Shirley's like, nah, they're lying. Jules learned that IT was using bad tape and it was her idea. And someone from mechanical switched the tape. And then some cop goes to her and he's like, you better watch your mouth. And then Knox steps in. First time below 120, fella. And then he de-escalates the situation. That guy leaves. And then Knox wants to talk to Shirley. She leaves. She's like, nah, bro, we're not talking. I'm not cool with you right now. And then he asks someone to follow her. Cooper, that comes into play later. And then we see Sims paying off the hecklers. So it was all set up by Bernard. And he says to Bernard, people are back in their homes. No violence reported. But Bernard's like, the speech bought us a day or two. Crisis is not over. And I got to go, by the way. I can't violate my own curfew.
Announce an 8 p.m. emergency curfew.
Curfew's 8 p.m. So that's where he's going. So then Martha and her friend are free to go. They're briefed on the mayor's speech. So they're kind of like, so that's the way he's playing it, huh? So I wonder what they're going to do. You guys got any thoughts on that?
I don't think they're going to keep quiet, but I don't think it matters because everyone's so riled up and we see all that graffiti a little later, like in the silo as Bernard's walking down. So I don't think it matters whether they are trying to prove themselves or trying to prove their side of the story or not. Everyone's just pissed off and riled up regardless.
Yeah. I feel like the story doesn't matter at all, really.
When you think
these people are already like ready for a rebellion. Like they're like, it's going to take a lot more than that to get them to like flip on their own people.
Yeah. When thinking of the timeline, like I'm sure having that first sheriff, like having the sheriff's wife sent out, in episode 1, and then having Billings sent out was probably enough of a shakeup. And then having Billings' replacement sent out right also after that. Everyone's kind of like, what is going on? Because that's probably, So I think regardless whether she had made it over that hill or not, there'd probably be a lot of pushback right now.
Yeah, that's true. So then, like you just said, Bernard sees the symbol for Jules, JL, which means Juliette lives, and a rebellion is happening. It's going to happen. So Sims gets home. His wife looks worried, and he says, she's like, any luck with that? Because he's supposed to be the shadow, right? For Bernard, that's what he wants.
He's been pushing to be the shadow, but then Bernard last season was like, you don't got what it takes, bro.
Yeah. And he's like, Bernard says I'm too valuable where I'm at right now, at least for now. And she says, what's he waiting for? And then he talks to his wife about Meadows. And he was like, she was in IT before Judicial, right? Did you know each other back then?
She didn't even know I was alive. But they said she was in IT before she moved to Judicial.
Then she's like, why? Do you think he's talking to Meadows?
I don't know. There was something about the way he looked at her today.
And then we see right away, Bernard is talking to Meadows. And he's like, you're full of surprises. Thank you for your endorsement. What made you change your mind? What Xander said earlier, it's like she went there to see him crash and burn, but turns out he's actually good at politics. She assumed the hecklers were an arranged job. Good job on that. Did what you needed to do. He's like, I approached it like an equation. The mob saw it. They saw it with their own eyes, so I had to give them a story. If anyone else tells a different story, they have to disprove mine. If that doesn't work, then brute force it is, which is definitely where this is leading. We need to give them something to believe in. He talks about the Juliette Lives graffiti. That's up here. I can't imagine what's down low, where they're really going to start to rebel. That's up here. So that's crazy. Who knows what's happening there? You're the only person I will listen to, Meadows. I tried to find another shadow, but you set the bar too high. So like Xander just said, he didn't see Sims as a good fit. He just really can't find one right now. And he apologizes for trying to bribe her earlier. And they talk more in just a second. The last 2 parts, guys. Cooper is following Shirley because Knox told him to. And Shirley's like, you can't stop us. We're going to do what we're going to do. And he's like, I'm going to say you guys made it all home by curfew. I was Jules' shadow.
It was just us 2 in the generator room when everything was going to shit. We'd be dead if it hadn't been for her.
I'm with you. I want in. So that's what I'm here for. Whatever you're doing, I'm here for it.
So I'm not here for Knox. I'm here for Juliette. And whatever you guys are doing, I want in.
And then Shirley says Bernard's story is a lie. Martha says you don't know shit and keep quiet. They got eyes and ears everywhere. Quit talking about this shit. It could get you killed. And then Shirley wants to find others like us who want to know the truth, demand answers. And Martha's like, you won't get it, then fight. They'll be ready for that. And they have the weapons. And like I said earlier, well, maybe some of the people that have the weapons will join our side.
Well, maybe some of the raiders and deputies will decide they want to know the truth too.
Maybe like Paul. You guys could see that happening?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah, it sure seems like that's a huge possibility.
The guy that brought Walker down to the cell, I feel like he had such a close relationship with Jules and everyone in like the Down Deep. So I feel like he's probably going to be easy to switch over to.
Yeah. It'll probably be like half and half, right? Making it a fair fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Then they talk about the JL graffiti, which means Juliette lives. Good. I think it's true. Walker agrees she's alive.
What do you think, Walk?
With all of you guys dedicated to finding out the truth, yeah, she's alive.
Which she is. So then, final scene, Meadows wants to be clear-headed, so no more booze. She goes, I'll help you, Bernard, but I want you to set some good tape aside. I want my freedom. If you can't get me the wizard's hot air balloon, because I'm a fraud just like the Wizard of Oz, I want what Jules had today.
I want my freedom.
I want to go out.
I want to go out.
So, like, according to the rules of the silo, she should be sent out to clean now. But that's not going to happen.
No.
So that's the episode. What do you guys think? Good one, right?
Yeah, I think it's good. It's setting up some cool power struggles, I guess, because I could really see Sims kind of switching sides once he figures out what's going on with Meadows and Bernard. I feel like he could kind of switch over and be a good inside man for the rebellion and stuff like that.
I feel like they would have to really, really mess up for him to do that, though.
I think once he figures out he has no shot at the shadow, and there's like a shadowy...
I guess that's true.
Like, I feel like once you think you're on the inside and you're like, I got all this knowledge, I know what's going on, to realize there's a whole other layer that was being kept from you, you'd kind of just be like, fuck you.
Yeah, like, you're like super betrayed.
Yeah.
But I also think that, you know, Bernard and Meadows are severely underestimating how powerful having a common enemy can be. Especially when that enemy is how many people are in this
10,000
silo? 10,000 people. So it's like a majority of that 10,000 people. Good luck, fam. Like,
yeah. Well, I can't wait to see what happens. Real quick, guys, we have some awesome merch out. This hoodie is comfortable as shit. We have some Christmas options. You can see them down below. Yeah, it's hoodie season. So if you want to support us, grab a hoodie. And yeah, we'll be here to talk episode 3. We could do a theory video this week if you guys get enough comments in. You know, obviously no book spoilers, please. But if you guys want a theory video, just comment what you think is going to happen with the rebellion and all that type of thing. So just let us know and we'll do it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time. Later.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Jules was like family to me, but I had to make a choice.
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened? That just happened.